students, teachers, and all those who love literature. Welcome to my presentation today. And today I have the novel that is called The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born. The novelist is Ayi Kwei Armah. The setting of the novel is Ghana, and the time is 1968. This was post-independence. The publisher of this novel are Heinemann Education Limited. So stay tuned. Students, teachers, and all those who love literature, let me give you the introduction of the summary of the book. Actually, the novel The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born is about corruption, exploitation, embezzlement, and dehumanization in the post-colonial independent Ghana, which is symbolized by dead objects. So there are many symbols or many symbolisms that have been used in this novel. Ghana is used to represent other African countries which are faced by rampant corruption and a betrayal by their post-independent leaders. Those who are betraying citizens, surprisingly, they didn't even participate in the struggle for independence, but they are the ones who are reaping the fruits of independence. Remember, Ghana is the first country in Africa to attain high independence in 1957 under Kwame Nkrumah. And the people hoped for a bright future before independence, thinking that after independence they would enjoy. However, their happiness, their expectations were never attained. In this novel, we have a character that is called the man. And the man represents people who are optimistic about a good life after independence. So the man thinks that after independence, things are going to be better. However, they didn't turn so. The man represents all those who have been betrayed by their leaders or new governments. The man is always laughed at by his wife Oyo and his mother-in-law for not being corrupt when he refuses to take bribe. While he works at the railway station, the man is unable to say why he refuses to receive bribe, why everyone in the country is corrupt. So corruption is rampant in this place in Ghana, but there are few people who are reluctant to receive a bribe. In actual sense, the people's life in Ghana is very poor, and anyone who needs to get rich, they must accept corruption as a solution against poverty. On the other hand, we see Joseph Kumsan, who is a minister living a luxurious life with his family due to the money he gets through corruption. He, his wife Estella, and their daughter Prince are living a high-class life. Their daughter dresses expensively and speaks like a white girl. We see Compson buying a car and a boat. So Compson is one of those African leaders who are so corrupt. The man asks his wife why their daughter doesn't look like Compson's, but his wife tells him that it is because he doesn't take bribery that the children cannot look like Compson's. There is another character who's called Sister Manani. So Sister Manani is a poor woman who is the symbol of people who are crushed by the bad system of the society through exploitation and humiliation. He decides to engage herself in prostitution and smoking marijuana as a means. So she decides, she does all thinking that it will be, she thinks that that will be a solution towards or against the problems, but she remains poor. She also teaches her brother Coffee Bill to smoke and drink much wine, since Coffee Bill was once working for the white man, but he accidentally loses his leg and the white man didn't care about his situation. Sister Manani and the Coffee Bill drink too much, and eventually they go crazy and commit suicide. Therefore, corruption in Ghana is accepted as legitimate, as a legitimate means of enrichment. A corrupt man is considered to be a brave one and a hero, but he who doesn't receive bribe is considered foolish and coward, as we see a timberman called Amankwa blames the man for refusing to be corrupt, while others in the same office are taking bribe. The man is alone of its own kind, and when he tells his wife calls him Chichidodo, which means a bird which hates feces but feed on the maggot that feed on the same feces. Nkrumah's government was like a thorn to most Ghanaians, something which finally led to its overthrow after the soldiers had convinced the other leaders. We see Compson and the other corrupt leaders escaping and hiding themselves after the coup d'etat. In the novel, the policemen accept bribery publicly, and when one fears to do it, the policeman says the beautiful ones are not yet born, and that is the origin of the title of this novel. Formerly, most of the African writers were much concerned with pre-colonial issues, but this writer, Ayi Kwei Armah, is now concerned with contemporary issues facing most of African countries like Ghana and other countries in Africa. Students, teachers, and all those who love literature and the special novels, now let us look at the form of the novel. And to begin, I'm going to have the characters analysis of this novel. The first character is Joseph Compson. This is the officer or minister who abuses public office and position, stealing public fund for his own enrichment. He is corrupt as he buys fishing boats using public money. He is very pompous and cultural imperialist. After the coup, he runs away from Ghana. Another character is called the man. This is the central character in the novel and represents the majority. He is very poor and works in the railway company as a clerk. His children sleep on the floor and they walk barefooted. He is in quarrel or conflict with Oyo, his wife, who wants him to be corrupt. The man doesn't take bribe, although he is still corrupt, because he shares some things obtained through corruption by others, like Compson. He is called Chichidodo by his wife. Dear students, do you remember what I spoke about the bird Chichidodo? Right. Dear students, another third character is called Oyo. She is the man's wife who is different from her husband because she supports bribery and corruption. She calls her husband Chichidodo because the man is against the corruption while he lives in the corrupt society. Oyo admires Europeans' way of life. She praises Kumson because he is rich and civilized, unlike her husband. She admires Estella. Students, another character is called Estella. Estella is Kumson's wife and a mother of Prince. Because of their richness, they manage to live high-class life, and she makes herself beautiful. Estella is culturally and socially alienated because she prefers imported beer and ignores her own African ways of life. Students, another character is called the teacher. This is the man's friend who is also representing the exploited class in the society. He is aware of the impacts of corruption but remains silent, passive, without educating the society about the truth. His philosophy is that problems are solved either by running away from them or by not getting involved in them. My dear fans, students, teachers, and everybody, another character is called the bus conductor. The bus conductor represents readers and privileged class. He is hardened, abusive, and corrupt, and all he cares is money. So this bus conductor cares only about money. He does not give tickets to passengers without a bribe, even if the passenger is poor. Dear students, the seventh character is called the bus driver. This represents upper leaders or high government leaders such as presidents who also join in and support corruption and the other moral decay. Students, another character is Abednego Yamoa. This character works in the government and sells government petrol for his own benefit. He represents readers who are gleaning from exploitation instead of being jailed for his corrupt practices. People know him as a thief, but they still trust and praise him. Dear students, do you think we have such kind of leaders in our society? What do you think, dear students, could be the best solution? The students, another character is called the night clerk. This represents corrupt leaders. He accepts corruption from timberman who wants to transport his timber from the forest illegally. He represents readers who are not committed to their work. The students, remember, our novel is called The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, and it was written by Armah. The novel is called The Beautiful Ones Are Not Yet Born, and it was written by Ayi Kwei Armah. The setting is Ghana, and the time is 1968. So this was post-independence in Ghana because Ghana attained high independence in 1957. Dear students, another character is Sister Manan. Sister Manan. This is a poor woman who, due to poverty, decides to engage in prostitution to earn a living. She decides to smoke marijuana and drinks, thinking that she will solve her problems. She also teaches coffee bean, smoking weed, thinking that maybe that they will forget their suffering and their problems and poverty likewise. Students, another character is called the Coffee Bill. This character worked in a transportation company. He had an accident and one of his legs had to be cut off. But after the accident,
the company didn't pay him the compensation and the company dismissed him from work. Coffee Bill starts smoking weed with his sister, thinking that they are going to solve the problem, but contrary was it. The students, another 12th character is called passengers. Passengers represent the masses or the people who are exploited, oppressed, humiliated, and discriminated. Despite their poverty, passengers still have to pay for the service they want. They are regarded as valueless and are without anything in their own country. They don't enjoy fruits of their early independence. Students, another character is called the army and the police. These are corrupt too. Even after revolution, a policeman is observed receiving bribe. Remember, people having seen that the government is not benefiting them, in collaboration with the army, revolution took over. So new readers entered into the system, but things had never changed yet. Students, this is the end of characterization. Now, before I get back to styling, language and language use and all other stuffs, let me go to content first, and I will get back to form. So, students, let us have the thematic analysis, and the first theme we are going to look at is corruption or bribe. This novel shows the way bribe or corruption is widespread in Ghana. Many people in Ghana are corrupt, and a person who does not receive a bribe is considered wicked or foolish. In the novel, we see Kumson enriching himself with corruption. Due to this, he is the richer person than the man. Also, the timberman, Amankwa, attempts to bribe the man, but the man refuses to accept it. Amankwa also bribes the clerk who is responsible for allocation of wagon space. The bus driver bribes the policeman. This can be seen when the man goes to Cape Coast. Even after the coup deterred, policemen receive a bribe from the bus driver of the new bus. In concluding, the whole novel describes about corruption, although it uses symbols such as filthiness and debt, etc. It is, however, very important to know that although many African countries had attained independence since 1960s, corruption is still rampant, that it leads to underdevelopment of our countries and increases the gap between the poor and the rich. Dear students, do you have any other thing that you would say about corruption or bribe? Well, write it down and share it with me here. Students, another theme is disappointment or disillusionment. This refers to the loss of hope about something. When people don't see any sign of change about what they expected, they get disappointed. In Ghana, people expected that after gaining independence, they would live well and that there would be no exploitation like that of whites. But we see after independence, people still live in extreme poverty and corruption is legal. This brings to disillusionment. Sister Manan decides to smoke marijuana or weed and convinces her brother to do so as the sign of disappointment. It is because they think even if they work, there will be no further changes or development due to corruption. So smoking and alcoholic drinking leads to Sister Manani going crazy. She then says, they have mixed everything. And how can I find it when they have mixed it? This can be found on page 180 of our novel. Also, at the back of the new bus, the man sees words or inscriptions that say, the beautiful ones are not yet born. This is such a disappointment. This shows the way people have lost hope and they think that they can never get good readers anymore. After hope detached, we see people saying that, or we see words which indicate that the government will do nothing but the same. They say new people, new style, old dance. People don't trust the new government. The other people say another group of bellies to show that the leaders, the new leaders, are the same with those who are past. Students, do you see this novel interesting? If so, please, I encourage you to go and find it so that you read it line by line so that you get to know what was communicated in the novel. In fact, it is one of the interesting novels. Yeah. The third theme, students, is humiliation. Humiliation. A person treats another person inhumanly by shaming him or her. This is what humiliation means. A person treats another person inhumanly by shaming him or her. The behavior of humiliation is shown to a large extent by Estella or Compson's wife. Example, when Compson and his wife Estella visit the man's family, Estella does not want to shake hands with the man. She withdraws her hand quickly when the man takes his hand to greet her, and this can be found on page 130. Also, when Compson takes the man to greet his wife at the market inside the car, Estella withdraws her hand very quickly to avoid the man's hand on page 38. Students, another theme is poverty. And the poverty is the state of one who lacks a certain amount of material possession or money, or one being unable to afford the basic needs such as food, water, sanitation, clothing. This is the life of many Africans. Few people are rich, while the majority live in extreme poverty. In the novel, we see the children of the man sleep on the floor. They don't have beds. Also, the children of the man walk barefooted, hence stumble themselves. It is because their father or the man is unable to buy them shoes. And this is because the man has refused to receive bribe. The man also tells Compson that he has no toilet but latrine. He is unable to construct or to build the toilet. You see that there are differences between latrines and toilets. So latrines are used by the poor, while toilets are used by the rich, you know. The man is also unable to buy modern beer for visitors. Instead, they buy local malt beer. In the novel, the man has no handkerchief to brush away his ooze in the bus. It symbolizes poverty too. So a man being unable to possess even a handkerchief, this is an extreme poverty, right? Yeah. In the novel, we see the man unable to buy food for lunch. This is poverty. Passengers in the bus are paying their fare in pesewa or coin instead of cedis, which means notes or paper money. This shows that the majority of people are poor. So the notes of money or paper money indicates richness, while coins or pesewa indicates poverty. The students, another theme is cultural imperialism. Cultural imperialism. Many Africans have changed their styles of life to resemble those of Europe and America. They have surrendered their culture and they think the culture of theirs is the most superior to that of theirs. The narrator shows this by telling us the way Africans have changed their African names to be similar to that of whites. Africans are calling themselves names of European origin. Also, Oyo bands her hair so as to resemble, to appear as whites. Estella dresses like whites. Oyo talks of the European beer as being the good ones compared to local beer. In the man's office, the officer responsible with overtime talks like white men, he says. Our world scene ideal for you. This can be seen on page 24. Kumsan has named his daughter Princess, right? Yeah. Students, how does cultural imperialism affect African culture? Tell me on the comment section below. Students, my last theme to be discussed today is classes or social discrimination. What do you think classes and social discrimination, and how do you think it is spoken in the novel? In Ghana, the society is divided into two opposition classes, namely the group of the rich people or upper class and that of the poor, lower class. Kumsan represents the upper class, the group which lives happily due to richness. They live luxurious life and have cars, enough food, but they get them through exploitation of the poor or lower class through corruption. Estella tells her husband not to buy foodstuffs because others are getting rotten in their houses. You see, so some of the people have food which are getting rotten in the houses, while others have even no ranch. Also, Kumson lives in upper residential area, high class area, while the man lives in poor area and has no toilet but latrine. Also, at the man's office there are two. There are two. It's a laboratory upstairs for senior officers, while downstairs there is a lavatory for lower classes of people such as the man. I repeat, so there are two latrines or places where they go to urinate and for short call and long call. So some of the places are for the rich and some of the latrines are for the poor. Students, before I finish my summary, let me speak a little bit about relevance of the novel. The novel is still relevant today because many African leaders are corrupt, hypocrites, traitors, and nepotists. What actually takes place in the novel is what is taking place in our countries. Students, what do you think are the message that we can get from this novel? Okay, so before you mention yours, let me give you two of them. The first message is that poor leadership is the obstacle, or is an obstacle to development. Poor leadership is an obstacle to development. And another message is that every person should maintain his or her culture, provided that it is good. Students, thank you very much for listening this presentation. Next time, I will get back to analysis of forms and especially style and language use. So get tuned or stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and ciao.